Hi again, it's Jamie, and what I want to show you today is how to work with templates and existing forms. It just spices things up a little bit. So I have this set of three ovals that I cast in plaster, and I made those from these cookie cutters that I got from Chinese Clay Art. There's stores nearby me, luckily, so I was able to procure those. But anyway, so I made these oval forms, and what I'm going to do is do push trays using templates. So the way that I come up with my template is I would put the form on here, draw a circle around it. Now what I'm going to do is I have the templates for these already cut out. They're right here, and these are the forms that I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if you don't have these forms here, which you probably do not, you can go out and procure I like these paper mache forms. They're ovals. I couldn't find one bigger, but you could have two if you don't want to go through the mess of making a set of these. So the way that I got this, or the way that I would create a template using this form to use to press into clay, what I would do is I would simply draw out, that didn't take, draw out the oval. Then I would take it and I would cut it out. And I just happen to have a cutout piece here. And I would fold it in all fours, like this. Then to create my template, I would take another piece of paper Now, for one-time deals, you could just use this regular paper like this. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to be using the template over and over again, you might want to think about using a heavier material like tar paper or manila folder. So what I did here is I put the quarter around the seam here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it so I know where it exists, where the border is. So there's my outline. Now, at this point, I can draw any kind of design that I want, but if I want something similar to what I'm going to show you now, is I'm just going to do a free form design like that. Next I cut it. I cut out the inside too. And voila, I have this template. So instead of using, what I did over here is I made these to match this set here, and I laminated them so I can use them over and over again. This is probably good for maybe 1 or 2 times. So you could take this and transfer it to the manila file or the tar paper or whatever you'd like. So the next thing that you're going to do is with this template is you're going to put it onto your slab of clay. So I've started out with a 1/4 inch slab here, and once again I haven't smoothed it out yet. This has been one of my favorite smoothing cards recently. It's an Amazon Kindle card, so I recommend you go out and ask for this for your birthday with a full amount on it, and after you have fun buying clay tools and stuff online, use it to flatten out your clay surfaces. See, dual purpose. So now I have a nice smooth surface, and I'm just going to lay out my templates. From here, all I'm going to do is going to cut them out and then apply some very basic design. And then I'll show you how to do the push into the foam. These laminated ones are so much easier to do. So they're a little more stiff. of the things you can also do when you're preparing to decorate is sometimes what I'll do is I'll run my finger around the opening here so that I'll know where the border is if I'm going to apply a lot of stamps and stuff to it. Also, if I was going to do a lot of stamping, what I would maybe do is put this down first, do this border, stamp, and then lay it back over and then do my cuts. I'm just going to apply a very simple design this time, therefore I'm not going to do that. Now, as you can see, this paper over here is starting to buckle a little bit, so once again, 1 or 2 times probably is the most you're going to get out of this template. So if you like your whatever shape you come up with, I'd recommend that you transfer it to a harder material. The other thing I've done with these is, let's say you do laminate your design, I've saved the quarter round, so now next time when I could just fold a paper in quarters, draw my lines, and then draw a design whatever I want, and then I'll have a presto new template. These are very simple forms, but they're just very enjoyable. I'm going to soften out the edges. Being careful not to lose that center that I put in with my finger. Okay, I can do more smoothing later. The next thing I want to add is just a simple design element of these flowers. So these are plaster stamps that I cast from various items, and this is from a mold making kit actually, or a fondant mold, and this was from a little mini pumpkin, and I forget what that was from. So to apply these kind of little molds, stamps with flowers, what I need to do is, I call it buttering the mold. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay, and I'm going to, let's see, enough for this one, put it on here, and then I'm going to take a wooden tool and take it off. Now I'm going to put a little bit of slip. I should score it a little bit, and then put a little bit of slip, and then I'm going to locate, let's see, this is the middle one, so I'm going to put it on this one. And I'm going to put more slip here. And then I have a lovely impression. Our next step of the process is to then put these into our foam. I'm going to start with the largest oval, and before I press, I just want to clean up those edges again. Now I have that slight line that I outlined before when I put my template on, so I know exactly where to put the mold. Then, the other thing that I like to do is, while it's in this state, is to go back and really smooth down the bottom. And you have a nice smooth surface if you're waxing when you're glazing, you're dipping your pieces. It makes the world of difference. And I'm just going to sign my piece. Then I'm going to put it on another wear board. For drying. And voila. Now, what I would do here is I would probably let it sit up a little bit, and then I would come back and touch the edges up. Let's do the template one I just did. So this is using the box, the paper mache box, and I'm lining it up here. As I'm doing this, I'm noticing that I probably could have made these a little bit thinner. It looks like it's a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. But I really probably could have just stuck at 1/4 of an inch. So I'll probably go down and soften the edges or bring them down a little bit more. Or sand them down a little bit more on the end product. As you can tell, this one has a little bit sharper edge to it. The other thing too is if I was going to use these more regularly, I would coat the pieces so that it wouldn't stick as much to the moisture. And what I would do for that is get something like this. I'm trying this out, so I can't endorse it fully yet because I haven't really tried it on some pieces. I haven't got to this yet. But anyway, I would do an acrylic finish just to protect them from the moisture. So once again, I'm going to let that one set up, and then I'm going to come back and fix the edges. But you can get an idea of the shape that we're working with here. I just think they're very simple, very pretty pieces, and fun to do.